Welcome back to The Rustic Wife. I'm Alana. Today I thought I'd bring you along with us. We are going to be taking honey off today from our beehives, and right now I'm just getting the smoker going so we can just make them a little bit more docile when we take it. But today I'll just show you the process of taking the honey off. So I'm just getting the smoker going. I've got newspaper down there that I get started, and then I just use dried leaves. Get that going nice and hot. I also have a layer of sawdust on the top just so it stays lit, stays smoking. There, that's good. So we're going to take some honey from this hive right here. These two bottom boxes are called brood boxes, and if you look right here, there's a piece of wire that goes across there. It's like a screen, and it's supposed to make it so that the queen can't get up through there to lay eggs in these top boxes, but the workers can because they're smaller than her, and these two boxes should be full of honey. So we will take the honey from those two top boxes, and again, those ones are called supers, and the bottom ones are called brood boxes. The one beside it, it has two brood boxes and no supers because it was a small colony. Some of them had swarmed, or we caught a very small swarm. So you can see the ones that have the supers, they're bigger. It's not capped at all.
So I'll just take this whole box off and put it aside.
That's what I'm going to do. And then I can get the bottom one. You can see there's honey there, and it looks like it's all capped. So I'm going to pull some of these out and have a look. Look at that.
It's all capped outside. Just keep side there. It's nice looking stuff in there.
And that's all capped honey, so we can take that. So you can see we have a shallow super here, and they're full. You can see the honey is all capped, and it's loaded with bees. The bottom box is a super full of honey too. And these guys are a little bit aggressive today. They don't want us to take their honey. The reason why we just take them frame by frame and don't take the whole box is so that we can brush the bees off and leave the bees back here instead of taking them up with us to the house. We're just about to start extracting the honey from the frames, and I'm going to show you the setup here. I have a basin of water here just to clean up, and I also have, we're just going to set the frames on top of there and just take the cappings off, and then that will expose the honey inside the comb, which we can put into the separator. But we're going to catch the cappings in here, and just some tools just to clean up the wax. So this is our separator. It's a 2-frame separator, and it's got the spout there. We have the mesh there that'll catch the cappings and any debris, and the honey will go into the pail. And this is inside. So this is just a small extractor. Like I said, it's just 2 frames. So this is one of the frames here. You can see all of the honey in there. It's capped with wax. And what we want to do is get the cappings scraped off of that so the honey is exposed, and then we can put it into the separator and it will spin the honey out. So you just want to get that thin layer of the cappings off. You can get knives for this, which I wish we had right now. It's a special knife to just peel off the top. But this works okay too. So both sides here, the caps are taken off both sides, you can see, and then just put right into that separator, and we'll get the other one done and we'll show you how that spins out. So we've got 2 frames in there, and then we're just going to spin it out, and the honey should fly out and fill up the bottom, and when the bottom's full to there, it'll start coming out the spout. So one side is done here. You can see the honeycombs are empty. The honey has flown out. So what we just have to do is turn it around and do the other side. So you can see the empty cells there where the honey was. Some people just leave the comb on there and give it back to the bees the following year, so they don't have to make comb again, but we make beeswax out of it. So you can see these cappings right here, there's still a bit of honey in there, so when I render down the wax, the honey will be at the bottom, and I'll take the wax off the top and save the rendered down honey too. I had to use the cutting board instead of that little rack, it was too flimsy. And this is a wider frame here. They fit better in the extractor. So I gotta take a break from the honey separation. I have to go pick up my daughter from school and then hit the co-op for some feed and fuel, and then make supper, then right back at it. So our honey separator here, it doesn't have the strongest legs on it, and you need to actually screw the legs down onto something, and since we can't screw it onto the concrete, we made a little wooden platform where we can put weights. We've got weights there to hold it down, and there's enough room for us to stand on either side when we're turning the handle, because when you're spinning it, especially if the frames aren't completely loaded evenly with honey, it jumps all over the place and it's really annoying. So we built that little stand there. Okay, I've got my jars all washed. I did 3 cases of the 500 ml or the pint jars from Bernardin. So there's 36 jars here. I may need more though. Here's the honey that we did yesterday and the day before. I had to go back and get 6 more frames out of a hive that were the difficult bees. They were a little aggressive, so I waited until yesterday. I thought maybe they'd calm down by maybe give them another day, but they did not. They were a little aggressive. But anyway, we got, so you can see the honey's up to here in this bucket and up to there. So we'll see how much we get. I'm gonna figure out how much honey we harvested this year. So what I'm gonna do is I am just going to weigh one of these jars here. Okay, that's how much the jar weighs, and then I will fill it up with honey. Usually I fill it to about there, and that'll give me about 1.5 pounds. So one of these jars, which is 500 mils or a pint, that gives me about 1.5 pounds of honey. So to pour it into the jars, I'm gonna have to put it into this pitcher. If we put the honey in a square pail, it's easier for me to pour at the side of the square, but since this is round, it just drips everywhere. So I'll pour it into this and then fill my jars that way. So here is our honey that we have all jarred up. It is 80 pounds of raw honey, and we had 9 hives and one of them absconded, so basically we have 8. And a lot of them, we had some swarming going on too, so we really didn't have the greatest season for honey. I mean, it looks amazing, but for 8 or 9 hives, that's less than we've had in the past, but we're completely happy with this. This is really fantastic. Our honey is all harvested for the year, and it's kind of sad to see the end of it, the end of the season, as it is every year. And it'll be sad to see all these wildflowers slowly die off, but we'll just have to look forward to them again next spring. I hope you enjoyed coming along with us on this season's honey harvest. And if you liked today's video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again next time.